Well, hello, and welcome to Lightroom. We are going to edit this photograph together. This is an image from How to Photograph Food. The book has now been published in the UK, US, and there is a gorgeous French copy too. It's been a wild ride, as you know. 14 months of intense brainstorming and creating. Days when ideas would pour out of me, and days when none of my words would make any sense. I definitely learned what next level discipline is, and that by taking slow, a tiny step every day is how we bring a big project to life. No matter how many thank yous I'll say to you, it won't fully express how grateful I am for all your support, for all your messages, and for all your beautiful words. I wish I could give you a big hug now. Thank you. So, few weeks ago, I posted a question on my Instagram stories asking you what photo from the book you'd like me to create an editing tutorial for. And this is the photograph that got the most votes. I have to say, I am excited. I am excited because this photograph felt really special to me when I was creating it. And I was so excited and I so wanted to share it on my Instagram and on my portfolio, but I didn't. I saved it for the book. So it's just so fun that we can take a look at this image together here in Lightroom, and so that I can walk you through my editing process. So let's see what the raw file looked like. So this is the raw file. We have some really nice shadows here, and we have some light catching the texture of the chocolate. So we are going to bring some magic to it in Lightroom. I've had a very strong vision for this photograph. While I was creating it, I knew what I wanted to do with it in post-production. So I knew I wanted to make the whole image darker and then shine the light on these chocolates. So the reason why I don't underexpose my images is if I underexpose that photograph like this, and you can see I'm losing the details in some parts. So I don't want to do that. I rather have my photograph like this and then darken the parts that I want to be darker in post-production. That's how I preserve the details in my images. So we know I am going to make this image darker and a little bit more dramatic, and then we're just gonna add some light to those gorgeous chocolates. So the first thing I am gonna do here is jump to the tone curve panel. Here we are in the tone curve panel, and I'm going to add some drama to this photograph with the tone curve, making it slightly darker and then pushing those brighter parts. Now I've added a lot of contrast. Just making it slightly darker. It's a little bit more dramatic. I do want to add that faded look to the shadows, so I can do it here, just like that. So this is just one change, just playing with the tone curve. And this is the difference we are making with just tone curve adjustment. Pretty good, huh? Pretty good. So I'm gonna keep it like this. I feel that the chocolates are a little bit too saturated. So I will take a look at them in the HSL panel. So I could desaturate them slightly here, the oranges and also the reds, because we do have some reds in here as well. So at this stage I want to make it even more darker, so I'm going to do that with the exposure slider, just like this. So I'm looking at the background here, so I'm really pushing the exposure slider, looking at the background and how dark I want the background to be. So let's leave it like this for now. We could use the luminance slider to brighten the chocolates. It's a really cool tool. You can see I'm brightening them here. And if we push the reds as well, that adds that little glow. But one thing I really want to brighten here, as well as the chocolates, are our paper cases. That's because I feel that the light magic happens in this part. So we have some beautiful highlights and shadows hiding in those parts. And this is the element of the photograph that adds a lot of visual interest. So I want to make sure I will brighten that part as well. So instead of, because I can't push my luminance anymore, so I'm going to reduce it slightly here and use a different tool to brighten those parts. I'm going to grab a graduated filter here, pop it over my frame, just like this. Just like this, and you can see the mask is applied to the whole image. I want to make sure I have no adjustments yet, and I am going to grab a range mask, choose a color, and now I'm going to grab this little tool, press the shift key and select these parts. So we have 4 different chocolates, they have different colors. So I'm letting Lightroom know that I want to make changes to the parts of the image with this color. And let's see what Lightroom has done. We can control the amount of the range mask with this slider. So I'm going to push it all the way here. So you can see that the chocolates are selected a little bit more precisely now. We are still adding some of the adjustment to the background, but trust me, it's gonna work. I'll show you, it's gonna work. So let's see what that's gonna look like. So now when I'm gonna move the exposure slider, you can see I'm adding that magical glow to chocolates and to the paper cases. Super happy with it. So I'm going to go to around here. I do want to add some clarity, not too much because we don't want to make them look too fake, just a little bit, just about here. Now the clarity works really well on those paper cases where we have those beautiful highlights and shadows here. Really make those elements pop. So let's see if we can add a little bit of whites as well. Again, just a little bit more glow. We want them to be glowy. So this was before and after, just adding that pop, and take a look at those paper cases. little details like this make such a difference in our images. So it's not just the chocolates, but our paper cases as well, beautifully catching the light. What I like to call light catchers. I'm not extremely happy with the top part, so I'm going to grab a new graduated filter, pop it over, and again, make sure I don't have any adjustments, and just darken that part. So as you can see, I'm only darkening the top part. So I can see, there are some brighter parts here, which I'm a little bit concerned about. And I don't want to push it too dark. So I'm going to keep it like this, more even, and I'm still not 100% happy with these parts of the background, the lighter parts. So I am going to grab a brush and I'm going to brush those parts. So I'm going to grab the adjustment brush, make it smaller with the bracket key, make the feathering slightly bigger, and let's see. Oh, remember about the adjustments B, and just brush over those parts. Let's see if we can darken them. That looks better. That looks better already. Happy me. Just brushing at those brighter parts. I can brush over the paper cases, the edges of the paper cases here, and that's fine. Like this. A little bit more, let's see. And when we, okay, let's take a look. That looks much better. A little bit more balanced and cohesive. If I can make these two parts slightly darker too. So a little bit more cohesive and balanced, and that's exactly what I want. Yes, around here. So this is our image almost done. I might make it slightly cooler, just very slightly, and add a bit of magenta tint here. Just like 8. And the last little bit is go into the detail panel and add the sharpening. So I do like to go to the masking, press the option key, and then push the sharpening to the edges around here, and maybe strengthen it to 60. That looks great. I love this image. I love the effect. It's quite a shift. It looks so much more dramatic, so much more eye-catching. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and that you are gonna use some of these tools in your own work as well. And if you do, please, 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 please tag me in your photos and add a hashtag from How to Photograph Food, which is hashtag How to Photograph Food a book. I cannot wait to see how you're gonna edit your images. So I will see you around on Instagram.